Hello, welcome to this project BBCG tutorial on the use of ASE files for brand color specification exchange. My name is Eddie Hagen. I'm the guy who started project BBCG, a better brand color guide. And if you have read the tutorial already, you will have noticed that the use of ASE files, which stands for Adobe Swatch Exchange, is an important part of the project BBCG approach. By the way, the tutorial file is already available in 15 different languages thanks to a lot of old and new friends. Now, as you can see, I'm in Adobe InDesign at this moment. And to create such an ASE file, you best go to either Adobe InDesign or Adobe Illustrator. Do not use Adobe Photoshop because one option is missing there. So here you can see in the swatches menu, I have already created a new folder, project BBCG, and I will use the same colors as I use for my blog, which is insightsforprint.ceo. And I will create a new color swatch, and there it is. I will use a special name. And here is an important one, color type. This is why you need to go to InDesign or Illustrator, because this one is missing in Photoshop. And you have two options, either process, which means CMYK, or you can use spot color. Now, spot color is an interesting one, and you best use spot color for specific applications. You can use this when you want your brand color printed in a separate ink, so not mixed by CMYK, but as a separate ink on the printing press. Now, this also has an advantage if you do it like this. And in color mode, you select LAB. Now, if you don't know LAB, this is a scientific way to define colors. And so this is unambiguous. You always know what that color is. Now, by using that spot and LAB, if you want to convert those LAB numbers to RGB, to a specific RGB, I should say, sRGB or Adobe RGB, this is very straightforward. And you can always rely on that. So if I want to define my brand color for spot color and RGB, I can do that the same way. So in the background, you can see my Insights for Print CEO dark gray is L16, A0 and B0. And you will notice that this is, or you will know that this is a neutral gray. And I want to keep it that way. This is an important one. So I will rename my swatch name, and this is BBCG dark gray, and this is spot and RGB. So if you use this in a document that will be printed, and you print it with a spot color, then it will be in a separate channel. If you use RGB documents, whether it is sRGB or Adobe RGB, it will be automatically converted, and this is done in the correct way from LAB, that scientific definition of a color, to your specific RGB, which can be sRGB, Adobe RGB, or any other RGB. So here I have my BBCG dark gray. So for spot color and RGB. Now, if I want to do it, create a similar color for CMYK, it gets a little bit more difficult. First, the automatic conversion is not as straightforward as you might think. And I'm going to switch to Photoshop. And you probably won't notice, but these are two images next to each other. And these are different colors. And on the left, this is a color mixed automatically, so converted that LAB number you saw previously to a specific CMYK profile, and you can see it in the bottom, piezo coated version 3. But I don't like this because this is all the different inks, a certain amount of that. And this is very difficult to keep under control on a printing press. And with the slightest deviation of the cyan, magenta, or yellow, or a combination of those, my really nice neutral gray won't be neutral gray anymore. It will shift to a certain color. So that's why I like a tweaked version, and that's the one that you see on the right. And I don't see the difference between left and right on my screen. Probably you neither. And this is only 95% of black. So only one channel, much easier to control. So back to InDesign. So I create a new color swatch, and this is not a spot color anymore. I want a process, and I want to define my CMYK. So this was 000 95, and I call it BBCG dark gray CMYK. Now, best practice is to have different values, and you might want to check that and test print it for both coded and uncoded. But for this tutorial, I'm going to do it like this, just have one value. So now I have a folder with two swatches, and to export it, and I can't do it here, I have to do it over here. Select the folder and go to Save Swatches. And then you will see it will be saved as an Adobe Swatch Exchange. So that's where the ASE file comes from. And I will call it Project BBCG ASE. So that's it. That's all you have to do. So back to, not this one, but back to Photoshop. If I want to import my new folder, I go to my swatches and import swatches. And I have to go to the right folder, of course. And why don't I see it? Well, there is a good reason for that. And each time I'm surprised, because here you have to not select swatches, that's the default. You have to select swatch exchange. And then you will see, here's my new ASE file, project BBCG, ASE. So now I have imported it, and you can see my different colors, my different versions of gray, spot plus RGB or CMYK. So that's it. That's all you have to do. Nothing more than that. Now I'm going to show you one with a little bit more colors in it, which is my ASE file for Insights for Print, and it's at the bottom here. And you can see I have different options. So I have an orange one and the spot color plus RGB, a different one for coated and uncoated, and the same for the dark gray and the light gray. So it's that easy to create and export and import an ASE file. Now you already noticed that I also have this application on my computer. This is Affinity Designer, and Affinity is a competitor of Adobe Creative Cloud. And they also support those swatches. So here, if you go to the swatches, you have here all kinds of colors. And look here, you have still, I installed this yesterday, you still have all the Pantone, different Pantone guides. And now I'm going to take a look. I know that my orange from Project BBCG is loosely based on Pantone 151. Now, if I look here in the colors, I don't see it, but I know it's a Pantone color. So let's look into this one. But this is green. So if I look for Pantone 151, I get all kinds of greens. That's not the right one. Color bridge. This doesn't have 151. This one also still not the right one. So this is confusing, and that's the reason why you need to create separate ASE files for your for your brand color, so that a designer doesn't need to go and search for the specific color. So what can we do here? We go here to import palettes. As an application palette or a document palette, you can choose. I'm going to pick as an application palette and go here. And you see that Affinity immediately gives two options, Affinity files or ASE files. And here I have my project BBCG ASE file. I open it, and guess what? I have my colors in here, and of course I have to delete that. I have my spot and my CMYK. So it's that easy to exchange it also with Affinity Designer and Affinity Publisher and Affinity Photo, if I'm not mistaken. So that's it. This is the first tutorial. I will have a second one on how to become a color exchange coordinator, because there is something extra that you can do to make the life of designers and people who are doing layout much, much easier. So see you in the next one. Bye.